Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 490 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Today is part 1 of an interview with a friend, a repeat podcast guest, a father of 3, a salesperson, and a former 5-time college All-American high jumper, an American Olympic high jumper in the 1996 Atlanta Games, a professional high jumper, and a former college track and field coach. Cameron Wright is today's guest. Go back to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast episodes 244 and 245 to hear our first interview that gives you more on his background, and it gives you a look into track and field recruiting, and also a look into the start of his middle child's, Devin's, journey from high school baseball to playing baseball at a junior college. Well, Cameron, welcome to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast again.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, I think it was back in April of 2021. We did it. We did one of these and got a lot of information from you. So we're looking forward to another good interview here, and we get to talk about some fun subjects. Not you this time as much.
It's hard to believe it's been that long. Like yesterday.
Give our listeners a little idea of what you're doing now and kind of what your family is doing right now, and then we'll actually get into some of the specifics for recruiting.
What I'm doing is I work for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. Of course, I was the head track coach at Southern Illinois University for 4 years, assistant for 5, and then I got into pharmaceutical sales. Me and my wife, Alyssa, were almost empty nesters. Bria is our last one, and she's a senior this year. And then you've got Devin, who is running for University of Arkansas, and then my oldest son, Braxton, is in the Air Force, and he works with at F.E. Warren Air Force Base. He actually works on nuclear bombs and stuff and repairs them and goes out to the silos and fixes them. So we're very proud of him as well.
Thank you for Braxton's service, and hopefully we won't have to use him very much.
Oh, that's right. He calls himself the last line of defense.
You are also kind of helping with some track programs and doing a little, you're behind a microphone a little bit more now too.
Yeah, doing play-by-play for ESPN, the JUCO for football. I'm going to do some basketball this year too. Something I did in Illinois for over a decade. Just really enjoy calling basketball games and football games. It's been good with that. Enjoyable to kind of stay around with track, helping out Ozark track and field daughters in it. But I'll probably continue to help them even afterwards. Like the coaching staff there a lot. Good people. I'm able to kind of take a back seat and let them lead and just kind of run around and try to give them any advice I can and just help out the kids that they want me to coach. So that's what we're doing with that.
This is the Athletic Scholarship Podcast 490th episode, but back in episode 244 and 245, we got to hear more of your story. You were an actually Olympic high jumper and also a professional high jumper. Then you transitioned into the business world.
I had a nice career. It was good. You know, professional high jumpers don't make a lot of money, so at the end of the day, you gotta find money some other way. I enjoyed my years in track. It was a lot of fun coaching and competing, obviously. But then, I had an opportunity. I'm pretty good at sales. I was a good recruiter at SIU, really good recruiter. And so that led to being able to sell. I promote different products for Pfizer and it's a good job. I've really enjoyed it. It's competitive as well. And that's something that it sparks my interest is a competitive field and being able to, go up against other people. So so it's worked out well.
We love talking about you and what you've done in the past, but our subjects are 2 of your kids. So let's start with Devin. Devin is Sutton, my younger son's age. They graduated Ozark in 2022. So the last time we talked to you, you were kind of in the recruiting process. So tell Devin's story going from high school to junior college baseball to NAIA baseball, and then now to a track team. Tell us how that happened over the last 4 years.
It's just a wild story. Alyssa and we always knew Devin was really fast. much like Sutton. We always knew that he could run. And so, but in high school, he loved baseball. He had a passion for baseball. Good baseball player, good speed in the outfield, obviously, could track down a lot of balls, good glove. Batting was good. He was mid to upper 300s in high school, nothing outstanding, but solid. Went to college, ended up getting a scholarship to go to State Fair Community College up in Sedalia, which was a great thing for him and our family. Really enjoyed his time there. Enjoyed playing baseball. Met a lot of good friends, and Coach Kendall there up at State Fair. Nothing but good things to say about that program. But after 2 years, and he was a good fielder. He's got his throwing about 92 from the outfield, so he had a nice gun. Of course, plus speed. I think it was like a 6'2", 260, which was, as you know, it's really, really fast. And so about the last year, he really had a goal of being a Division I athlete. He started both years at State Fair. He had about 350, 340 there. I mean, junior college baseball, you really need to hit above 400 to be even noticed, really. And so he got a lot of bunt hits as well. So he was able to perfect that and be a good bunter. And he actually got a scholarship because of his speed and his glove at LSU Shreveport, which, by the way, last year was undefeated. Well, won the NAIA national championships, and where really was not even, you rarely see this in baseball.
Right.
An undefeated season, because
baseball, they don't play an easy schedule either.
No, and we both know baseball is a very, lucky can be. There's luck involved. How hard you hit a ball right at someone or whatever. They had an incredible year, and on that team, I mean, I don't know where Devin would have been, but probably I don't know. He would have had a hard time cracking that lineup. I know that. And so, but he said right before, he told his mom and me, "Hey, you know what? I kind of want to run track." He had went to the state championship and saw his sister run track at state, Bria. The bug hit him, and he was like, wow, I think I could do this. He told us that it was like a God thing, that he was playing for the Sedalia Bombers during the summer, and all he could think about was running track. That's all he could think about was running. Started running with Ron Boyce at All Speed Factory, which is an incredible situation. My daughters ran for him since we've been here, really. Ron's just a great guy, former head track coach at Missouri State. So he does a really good job with all kinds of different athletes. All kinds of different sports go to him. And so he started going there. Ron calls me right away. He's like, this kid is fast. He decided to go to NAIA to Evangel and play baseball and run track. They were going to let him do both. Gave him a baseball scholarship. Devin, about 2 weeks in, was like, I don't want to play baseball anymore. All I want to do is run track. And so the bug had really hit him. And so he talked to the coaches, and the coaches agreed, hey, the track would take over the scholarship, and that's the way it would go. So he started running track, and it was just unbelievable. I mean, he right away, Alyssa and I, and my wife Alyssa was a Division I athlete in track and field as well. She was the second fastest 400 hurdler in SIU history for the Salukis, and really fast person. We both noticed that Devin was really, really gifted. I think he ran a 60 meter, which we knew he was going to be with his size. He's 6'3". We knew he'd be a 400 guy, but he ran a 6.91 his first time running the 60, which is flying, with a terrible, terrible start, which tells you that anybody that's that size and that big that can run that fast tells you that he's a little bit of a freak of nature, kind of like a kid that can be that tall with that kind of turnover. It's just rare in track. So he started running for Evangel. Now, they had no indoor track. The track program at Evangel is absolutely incredible. They do an outstanding job there. Coach Brandon Staley is the head coach. I'm telling you, if you're local and you want to go somewhere and run track for a program that does it right, Evangel is the place. I'm telling you, it was a total team family atmosphere that Devin just loved to be around and still loves being around. He's been home for Christmas now for almost a week, and he's been over at Evangel with those guys for half of the days, messing around, talking. He's still got great friends there. Him and Coach Staley are very close. Just can't say enough about it. And they won the conference championship, and Devin just excelled. Pulled his hamstring the week before indoor nationals. I think got fourth, was still indoor All-American on a pulled hamstring. As a matter of fact, I've never seen anybody recover from a pulled hamstring that fast. He wasn't fully recovered, but we kind of think it was a God thing. And then outdoor got healthy and just started putting up some incredible times. Went to the outdoor nationals and won. Blew us all away. I mean, in NAIA, a lot of times you run up against some older people at the nationals. Like the two people he beat were from Uganda and 24 years old. So, I mean, it was just like they don't have as many restrictions as NCAA to get in. He won it, and he ran a 46.1 in a 30-mile-an-hour wind. Arkansas, Kansas State, a couple of other schools really got in, started liking him, and he ended up choosing to go to Arkansas, and they offered him a really nice scholarship. So very unique situation. I've never heard of anything quite like this. We think he's got 3 years of eligibility left at Arkansas to run. The training has gone very well, and it looks like he's going to have a really good season this year. So he wants to set a PR, and he wants to run a lot faster, and so we think that he's going to have a good year.
So it's super unique. So he basically wins the national championship in NAIA running the 400. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And then did he get third or fourth in another event?
Yeah, so he was I think he was fourth in the 200, and I think he would have won that too. But that was 30 minutes after the 400. And that is a bear of a double. I mean, it's actually impossible. You can't come back in 30 minutes after running a quarter. He was really tired. I can't believe I think he ran a 20.7. He ran that, right afterwards. So it was an incredible accomplishment.
For people that are listening, he did not run track. The last time he had ran track was in junior high.
That's correct. He ran in 8th grade, and it was good. He ran in junior high, and he was a 54-second quarter miler in junior high, which is really fast. 54 in junior high is fast, but he never ran it afterwards. He loved baseball, and we're the kind of family that's like, hey, do what you want to do. It's your career. We think you'd be great at track. It was breaking his mother's heart. His mother knew. And so, Devin is 6'3", 180 pounds, all muscle. He's a big sprinter. Matter of fact, he's way bigger than most of the sprinters at Arkansas. He's just really a big kid. So, and I think that's going to be to his advantage. I think that for the 400, that strength that he's going to be able to gain from that is going to be good. He's got a world-class body for the quarter. Like the kid that was third place at nationals transferred to Arkansas from Arkansas Pine Bluff, and he's there now. He ran a 45.3 and got third. That kid's like 5'8", 135 pounds. I would rather be bigger. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think he could go really far in the sport, actually, if he, can stay healthy.
You don't really think of that Arkansas would be a track and field mecca, but it basically is. It's probably one of the top 5, if not the top 1 or 2 universities in the nation for track and field. So just going from a NAIA to a Division I is unbelievable, but going to Arkansas. So kind of tell us a little bit about Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas is a powerhouse track and field program. Without question. I don't know that you can even compare. I was going to try to compare a basketball program to Arkansas, but I don't think you can. The closest thing would be like a Duke or maybe like a UCLA back in the day.
Right.
They've won 51 national championships. So when you look at that, it's just an incredible accomplishment to do. And they had a coach there, John McDonnell. He built a program, and that was just second to none. So when you think about big time track programs in the United States, Arkansas is number one. They lost the national championship last year by 1 point. High jumper, no heighted, and their decathlete, no heighted in the vault. Otherwise, they'd have won the 52nd. Oregon is another big one. Texas A&M is another big one. Florida has got some good teams too. So those are your big powerhouse track programs. Track. I think Arkansas has won the SEC track championships the last 10 years. So they win SECs like routinely. It's hard to tell really how fast he'll run, Brent, because he's only really ran 1 year. So what's unique is he's extremely hungry, because a lot of people in this position have been doing it already for 9-10 years. Devin's extremely hungry to run, and so it's almost like you got to hold him back a little bit. But he's doing great. I mean, we're excited to see how it goes.
So kind of explain the track season. You mentioned indoor, outdoor, kind of the time frame of a track season.
So there's 2 championships to be had. There's the indoor national championships and there's the outdoor national championships. They're treated as 2 completely different sports. In the indoor championships, it's obviously all indoors, but they'll kick off here in January, about January 16th, I think is the first meet. And then they'll go and they'll compete until I think the national championships are middle of March. And they'll have 5-6 meets. They'll have a conference championship, and then whoever qualifies as like the top 20 fastest in the country will go to nationals to compete for the national championships. So I think that's definitely a goal of his, is to get to nationals. I think last year Devin would have finished around 7th or 8th in Division I last year, but Evangel doesn't even have an indoor track. They compete outdoors and use the outdoor track at Missouri State is where they practice. They don't have a track there, period. It is a good situation, though, for Evangel to be able to use Missouri State's track, and they have a good relationship with them, and everybody's thankful for that. So, and then outdoor comes along, and you've got another 6 or 7 meets with conference at the end of the season, and then they have a Midwest regionals to qualify to go to nationals. And so there's some huge meets, and Arkansas's facilities are so incredible. They actually host the indoor national championships, and they host the outdoor regionals. He's going to be running in Fayetteville a lot, so that's going to be good.
The indoor track is set up a little bit different. Does it have some banks and some angles that an outdoor track doesn't have?
It does. It's banked. Most of them are banked. Sometimes you get a 300-meter flat track, and those are nice too. But the bank tracks are there, and you have to negotiate that, and it's a little bit different, but they run some fast times on those.
So his learning curve on the indoor is different than the learning curve on the outdoor. And then you mentioned getting out of the blocks is kind of new to him. Again, he hadn't done it for six years or so. So he's got a lot of little techniques that he can kind of absorb here over the next couple of years that could really improve his times by tenths of a second.
A lot, really. I mean, I think that one of the things he wants to try to do this year is try to break 45 seconds. And so that would be a good goal. I mean, they've got coaches that are working with him. They've got assistants to the assistants that help with that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty cool situation over there.
We did a lot of baseball, and I'll see good high school players go to colleges and they will try to change their batting. Devin's not having to go through that because he's just kind of learning all new things. He doesn't have a lot of bad habits. So everything is new and fresh to him. So that's exciting. So how did Arkansas find him? How did they contact him? Kind of tell us a little bit about the back and forth so people can kind of feel what it's kind of like to go through the recruiting process.
Well, they called the coach at Evangel and get permission to talk to him. So, they just contact Coach Staley. Coach Staley contacted him. That's how they go about it. They get permission from the Evangel coaches, and the Evangel coaches are really good about all that. They don't try to keep people there that want to move on. I mean, I don't think a lot of people actually transfer from Evangel. I think most people stay. And honestly, as good as we did last year, we were considering staying at Evangel because the experience was so good. They go to a lot of big meets. They go to Arkansas. I think Arkansas saw Devin at the Arkansas meet that he was at, and he beat all the Arkansas guys. And so they were like, who the heck is this kid, And I think that kind of led from there. So
transfer portal is actually more NCAA Division I, Division II, Division III. So he didn't actually put his name in the transfer portal. They just found him because of times and because they saw him hopefully on their track.
Yeah, competing around here, and they saw him, and that's correct. He did not have to officially go into a portal. Whole thought process is different.
Right, it's the same. Yeah.
I mean, when I coach, people didn't release other people. You just didn't do it. You held on to your kids, and now everybody's just going from here and there, and it's not even a big deal.
Yeah. Did they have him come on campus as a official visit, unofficial visit? How did the visits to Arkansas or the contacts with Arkansas kind of develop that way?
It was an official visit. Brought him in. Devin had an official visit at Kansas State as well. Kansas was wanting him to come in, and we were actually going to go there next. But after the coach offered at Arkansas, Devin accepted right on the spot. So he really wanted to go there, and he really liked their coaches a lot. So, I think he likes the proximity from home as well.
Yeah, Arkansas. How far is Fayetteville from us? What, 2 hours? 2 hours. He's got friends there already. I know there's some kids from Ozark there, and probably some other local kids. So he has a familiar face on a college campus is super important.
Yeah, I think so too.
I said I even waved at people from Republic whenever I was on campus.
That's great.
So anything else that you could pass along to from your experience with Devin, your family's experience, that you could pass along to our recruiting families that maybe you learned? I mean, you're a veteran of track and field and of recruiting through your coaching and being recruited, but any little pieces of advice that you would throw out there if you were coming from a high school or even coming from a junior college or an NAIA school and you felt your times were where you could move up if you wanted to?
I just think that keep your options open is a main thing. Like if you're an athlete, you're an athlete, and sometimes there's other things you can do. The Hames girl, she went down into Texas for basketball. I talked to her mother the other day. She's on the rowing team down there.
Yes, yeah, we hear a lot of ladies that end up on a rowing team.
Yeah, and so keep your options open. Don't get so fixed on it's going to be one thing or the other, as we've seen. Sometimes you don't know what's around the bend for you, that you might be talented, more talented in other areas. The biggest thing is, from what I'm seeing right now with high school track or high school anything, is that going directly to Arkansas or Kansas or Missouri or whatever is extremely abnormal. And more abnormal than it used to be. You got these kids in high schools and stuff, and it's like they've worked their butt off, they get accolades, and they think in their mind, I'm going big time. I'm going big time, because the goal from the very beginning when they were a kid watching TV is I'm going big time. The way that it's went now is it's like many times you got to go somewhere first, excel there, and then go big time. Arkansas coach Flatt told us, we don't recruit high school kids. We recruit transfers. And the reason why is it's a known product. We know what we have coming in. If we get a high school kid, many times it's a couple of years of development. If they develop at a Division II school or NAIA school or a JUCO school or what have you, then they know what they're capable of doing, and they know they can do it, and they know they can help them. That's the way it is at some of the bigger schools. Now, there are still some, what you would consider mid-major Division I's, your Illinois States, your Indiana States, your SIUs, maybe even your Missouri States that will possibly take a kid. But you think about like Missouri State now in football, those guys are taking a lot of transfers. It's just kind of the way it is right now. It's almost, think of it as like there's another level after high school that you have to go to and compete in, because a lot of things happen in your freshman year. I can tell you from coaching, I brought in kids that were state champions that did not jump any higher, run any faster, or whatever. I brought in kids that barely made it to state, and after a year were whipping the tail off of the state champion because they finally got their strength and they finally grew and they finally figured it out. So we have late bloomers out there all the time. And a lot of times these late bloomers need a couple more years. My kids were late bloomers. Sutton was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it, these kids need a little bit more time. And that's what's nice about the junior college, the NAIA schools. There's schools like Evangel out there. You'll have the best time of your life. This program goes everywhere. They went to Nebraska. They went to Missouri. They went to Pitt State. They went to Arkansas. They competed against really good teams. So you'll have a chance to excel there, and if you're good enough, you'll excel at that level and you'll know that you'll need to move forward. If not, you just compete there and have a heck of a 4-year career and enjoy yourself and get your degree. When you look back at it, I was an athlete, competed at a very high level. When you look back at it, you're proud of your successes, but it's the experience of it all. And the experience is similar with each division that you go to. So I just think for a lot of these kids now, the thought process should be, I want to get better, and don't beat yourself up and don't knock yourself if you don't go right away to what your dream school is. There's still time to chase that dream, but don't knock NAIA sports. Don't knock Division II sports. I'm telling you, JUCO sports, there's some great people with abilities at those places. Incredible. Like when we went to NAIA Nationals, the guy that was ranked 4th in the world was running in the 100-meter run. Gosh dang. This guy was in the finals of the Olympic game. And so you find talent many, many different places.
It's kind of almost back to the high school scenario where in college you can kind of look at maybe some of the levels like the NAIAs as being your freshman or JV type of team, and then if you prove yourself, you move up. There's not as much development in college as what they're used to be now. Not every school's like that. Some schools they want to get that high school kid and develop because maybe they don't get the transfers, they don't compete as well with the transfers, and then other ones they kind of go after the transfers, and that's something you have to do in your research and so that's a good point. And again, Devin's story kind of shows if you go and compete, no matter where you're competing, you have an opportunity to move up if you want to. He could be a 3-time All-American at Arkansas. He could have been a 3-time All-American at Evangel. Both of them are the same, are the right choice in that particular case. So super excited for Devin. Thank you for listening to this longer episode of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. I know I learned a lot about Devin's path to Arkansas and his amazing and unusual track to where he is now. There are plenty of recruiting tips and pieces of advice that you can take from Devin's journey. Now I know it's a busy time right now, but you need to make sure and listen to the next episode 491, which will be the second part of the interview with Cameron Wright. We will navigate his senior high school daughter's journey to her commitment to the track team at Wichita State. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. Here's a free present that you can give to a high schooler or their family. Give them a link to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Join me next week for another episode of the world's longest running athletic recruiting education podcast, the Athletic Scholarship Podcast.